They didn't walk away because they didn't feel anything. They walked away because they felt everything, and it terrified them. Some connections break rules that aren't written on paper, but carved into fear, loyalty, timing, and expectations. When this person avoided you, it wasn't rejection, it was resistance. Resistance to a truth they weren't ready to live. But here's what no one tells you. Avoidance doesn't erase a bond, it delays the awakening. Right now, something is shifting inside them. A quiet moment, a sleepless night, a memory they couldn't escape. Suddenly, the walls they built to protect themselves are cracking. They're realizing that what they labeled forbidden was actually transformational. This is the story of the moment they stop running, from you, from themselves, from what was always real. And once this realization begins, it cannot be undone. Chapter 1. Why they had to avoid you. At first, the connection felt like an accident. Unexpected, intense, impossible to ignore. You didn't force your way into their life. You appeared, and everything inside them shifted. That was the problem. This bond challenged the rules they were living by, the roles they played, the choices they already made. Loving you, or even acknowledging the depth of the connection, meant questioning their entire identity. So they chose the easier path. Distance. Avoidance became their shield. Silence became their safety. They convinced themselves that if they stayed away long enough, the feeling would fade. But forbidden connections don't fade. They wait. Every time they ignored you, something inside them grew louder. Every moment of pretending, the truth pressed harder. They avoided you not out of cruelty, but out of fear of what would happen if they let themselves feel freely. This chapter isn't about rejection. It's about someone running from the version of themselves that only existed when you were near. Chapter 2. The silence that changed them. Distance created space. And in that space, something unexpected happened. Without you present, they thought they would feel relief. Instead, they felt absence. Silence has a way of revealing truths noise can hide. In the quiet moments, late nights, idle drives, unguarded thoughts, you kept appearing. Not as a memory, but as a feeling, a sense of unfinished. They started replaying moments they once dismissed. Conversations that lingered, eye contact that said too much, the way being around you felt different from anything else in their life. This is when avoidance stopped working, because no matter how far they pulled away physically, emotionally, they were closer than ever. The connection followed them into their inner world, where there were no rules, no witnesses, no excuses. They began to understand that the discomfort wasn't caused by you. It was caused by denying themselves something real. And slowly, the fear that once controlled them started transforming into curiosity, and then into regret. Chapter 3. The Epiphany Moment. The epiphany didn't arrive dramatically. It came quietly, like a truth that had been waiting patiently. A simple thought turned into a realization. I didn't lose them. I ran from them. They finally saw the pattern. Every meaningful connection in their life ended the same way. Distance, avoidance, excuses. But this one hurt differently, because this time they knew they had walked away from something rare. What they once called forbidden, they now recognize as sacred. Not destructive, but transformative. You weren't there to disrupt their life. You were there to awaken them. This realization carries weight, because awareness removes denial. They can no longer pretend they didn't feel it, or that it wasn't real, or that you were replaceable. Now your energy feels closer than ever. Thoughts of you arrive uninvited. The urge to reach out battles with fear, and for the first time they're questioning whether obeying the rules cost them something priceless. Chapter 4. the inner conflict. Awakening doesn't bring peace immediately. It brings conflict. Now they're torn between who they've been and who they're becoming, between safety and truth, between control and vulnerability. Reaching out to you means admitting they were wrong, that they chose fear over connection, that they may have hurt someone who only offered honesty. That realization is heavy. They rehearse messages they never send. They imagine conversations that could change everything, but fear still whispers, "What if it's too late?" Yet something has changed. Avoidance no longer feels like protection, it feels like punishment, and distance no longer feels safe, it feels empty. They are standing at the edge of a decision, not just about you, but about themselves, whether to continue living by rules that numb them, or to finally honor a connection that awakened their soul. Chapter 5. What this means for you. Here's the truth most people miss. Their epiphany isn't about possession, it's about recognition. They are finally seeing you clearly, without fear distorting the image. Whether they reach out now or later, the shift has already happened. Energy doesn't lie. When someone awakens to a connection, it creates movement, internally and externally. This moment isn't asking you to wait. It's asking you to stand in your truth, to remember that you were never the problem. You were the mirror. If they return, it will be different, because now they come with awareness. And if they don't, know this. You awakened something in them that will follow them forever. Forbidden connections don't exist to be hidden, they exist to transform, and sometimes the awakening comes only after distance does its work.